Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox. And what you're looking at is some of the video coming in from the University of Texas at Austin there, as we do see these Gaza war protests that have been taking place all over the country from coast to coast and right there in the center of the country as well. Do want to bring in Senator Brandon Creighton, a Texas state senator, a Republican, here to talk more about the situation. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
Yeah, it's good to be with you.
All right, so first off, I just want to get your take overall as you are seeing these protests, demonstrations that are playing out on college campuses, and in some cases actually turning violent like we saw on the UCLA campus overnight.
Yes, well, we're seeing this as a strategy all over the country, right? As campus unrest and these anti-Semitic rallies, these pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian rallies are taking place. We're definitely seeing a different angle on it here in Texas. I chair the Senate Education Committee here at the Texas Capitol. We definitely make it clear that we have oversight over our Texas public universities, and we've seen at the University of Texas, their leadership make sure that these agitators, these protesters, these individuals that claim to be students that are screaming burn Jews and from the river to the sea, which indicates, a preference to annihilate Israel, identifying the IDF as the same as the KKK. All of their gear matches, all of their tents match, all of their resources are the same. I wonder who's funding this. We definitely have a different opinion here in Texas on how to handle the situation, and it's being handled.
What message do you have overall for these folks who are taking part in these protests?
Well, the message overall is that in Texas, we obviously value and cherish the First Amendment right to free speech. But what we will not tolerate is violence towards our Jewish students and professors on campus. And as I mentioned, we're definitely seeing that. And once you're part of a peaceful protest that turns a corner and immediately incites violence and that kind of anti-Semitic violent rhetoric against Jewish students and professors, you're part of the problem. You're part of a protest that is a violent protest. And professors that are leading the charge on this on campus that are screaming in the faces of police officers responding, uh, they are absolutely going to learn this message and consequence. Many of these people need, instead of occupying these campuses, they need to go to the library and study, get to understand exactly why Israel as a nation state is protecting itself and is its right to defend itself against what was absolute horrific attack by Hamas with Palestinian support over 7.
Are these protests overall distracting from the higher education goals at these schools?
Well, we're in finals week, right? I mean, we have students walking across the campus, these campuses funded by Texas taxpayers for our flagship universities at $1 billion a year for the university system. And these students have worked hard all semester to achieve their goals and go into finals week this week and last week to produce results that have consequences for the rest of their lives, for their professional careers. So these students need to have a campus environment that values learning and order and certainly respect for our Jewish students and faculty that are a part of the process. We're going to make sure that's the case in Texas.
What do you say to lawmakers who do say that these are quote unquote peaceful protests?
Well, take a look. I mean, you can tell that no matter what they say, again, this rhetoric of burn the Jews and from the river to the sea to annihilate Israel, these types of chants that I mentioned, they are certainly not peaceful protests. Some of these agitators and occupiers that have passed out flyers to rally their quote unquote comrades to duplicate what happened at Columbia University over the past few days are absolutely not there to be people. So we are monitoring the situation with our DPS troopers and the Austin Police Department and University of Texas and other campus police around the state to make sure that these individuals that absolutely wish harm on Jewish students that are on campus and those that get in their way are dealt with accordingly.
All right, Senator Creighton, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. Anything else you want to add about any of this before I let you go?
Well, as the author of the ban on diversity, equity, and inclusion, I found it incredible that these students and these protesters that show up one day to protest the ban on DEI on all of these campuses, including diversity, equity, and the word that I'm focusing on today, which is inclusion, would turn out for a rally the very next day to be exclusive of Jewish students and Jewish faculty. I just find it the ultimate hypocrisy to see that in a 1 to 2 day sequence by these individuals that absolutely just hate America. They hate everyone else, and they must certainly hate themselves. And we're going to make sure that Texas campuses are a learning environment and that our students here in Texas, funded by Texas taxpayers, have the opportunity to achieve what they attend that campus for in the first place.
All right, Senator Creighton, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.